Hello everyone, and welcome to another video of Confronting Chaos, a series of partner videos to Chaos fight footage to outline the enemies and explain why characters are boosted. In this video, I'll be going over the Desch character event Chaos fight, so let's get into it. This Chaos fight is divided into two waves. The first wave is against two Crimson Lizards, and the second wave is against two Flumen Dracos. The Crimson Lizards are weak to thunder and ice and resist fire, however, they are weak to magic damage. These lizards aren't too scary, as they should go down fairly easily. You'll likely just get hit by their single target moves, their nails are melee attacks, and they have fire magic attacks. Give them a few turns and they'll use Wild Resonance, which gives them generic buffs and restores HP. Once one is dead, the other will use Igniting Roar, giving it more stats and HP regen, but it shouldn't last much longer afterwards. The main boss for this fight is the Flumen Draco. They are weak to thunder damage, absorb water damage, and are tough to range damage. They have two states, Magia state and Physica state, which they'll both change at the same time after about 3 turns in their current state. Magia state reduces all forms of non-stealing brave gained in the party to 20%, which is pretty nasty, and they also use only magic attacks. In Physica state, they gain a fair amount of bravery, cleanse themselves of all debuffs, and gain a lot of physical attack options. In each state, they gain access to a powerful group attack. In Magia, it's Draco Tornado, and in Physica, it's Terra Gust. However, each of these moves also has a plus version, which makes the brave hits random target and adds HP attacks. Broadly speaking, if the Draco is broken when its next turn comes, it has a high chance of doing the plus version. You'll want to break the Draco and then let it recover to avoid the HP damage. However, there is one important thing I will say about this boss. Similar to the Immediatelian bosses, these can be cheesed. Their first moves are going into Magia state, which really kills the momentum of the fight. However, if you summon at the end of wave 1 and have it active going into wave 2, you can get turns ahead of the Dracos and break them, delete their turns, paralyze them, whatever you want to do. Once they get a turn again, they will go into Magia state. However, if you kill one, the other will go into an enhanced version of Magia state, so you'll want to end the fight soon after. With the enemies out of the way, let's analyze the boosted characters for this fight. Desch is a mixed damage support who provides healing, debuffs, some random turn control, imperil, and party enchant for thunder. He switches between 2 frame buffs with his skills, providing offensive auras, party thunder enchant, and either magic damage resist or physical damage resist. He can also provide burst healing and decent damage with both of his skills. His EX is useful since it deals total damage to all enemies and applies a debuff that decreases max bravery. His EX Plus improves his damage and improves his buff rotation, similar to Onion Knight, which makes sense considering that they're supposed to be from the same game. Realization gives it base 120% overflow and more damage, which is nice. 1 ingot raises max bravery and attack, very appreciated since all of Desch's skills are group attacks. 2 ingots is very impactful. He starts off with anti-magic aura, he gets 2 actions in a row at the start of the fight, he gets a free skill to choose how he wants to set up, and he gets 80% recast gauge, meaning you do a skill, you do EX, and then you're good to go. 3 ingots further improves the EX cast's damage and base overflow, as well as granting him Brave and HP 2+ attacks. His LD grants him Electric Floor, a 4-hit group attack with single target HP damage done twice. It grants Desch Electric Area, a frame buff that does 2 things. For the party, it increases elemental weakness damage. For enemies, for every turn while it's active, after an enemy action, they'll either get paralyzed or get a defense down debuff, the paralyzed being the less frequent occurrence. The LD passive also boosts Desch's max brave and attack. Onion Knight's EX Plus is on the older side at this point, but with boosted stats, he's a solid choice for a damage unit. At level 3 of either of his job buffs, he gains solid attack for both himself and the party, and with his EX, he can apply Ice Resist down to all enemies with his additional ability acting as a party ice enchant. Yang focuses heavily on split damage and splash damage. He's all about damage though, so giving him any offensive buffs, regen, or battery would help him out greatly. He offers no debuffs and is fully non-elemental, so enchants give him full benefit. Ultimisha is the Lost Chapter boosted unit and focuses on turn control via free turns. All of her attacks have group brave hits, but the HP damage is either single target or split between the group. She can apply a frame sap debuff and benefits greatly from regen buffs and auras as well as anything to raise her attack and max bravery. Shantito is the burst unit for this event, and the biggest thing she offers are her ability to imperil all elements and her guaranteed paralysis debuff. Her enabling anyone to hit elemental weakness is handy, especially combined with Desch's LD weakness booster, as the Dracos can end up with pretty high defense. As for the team I chose, Here's the breakdown. Hope was chosen first actually for this team, since he can buff defense against both physical and magical, and compared to not having the buffs, it certainly did help. His battery is good, but obviously impacted by the Dracos in Magia mode, and having a defense debuff is handy. His healing left a little to be desired, but it was managed thanks to his additional ability and how often the EX is up. Alice is the main damage in this fight, and honestly I just wanted to try her out here. Self-imperils her elements for decent damage, high turn efficiency, and of course her dual cast gets extended by Hope. Even with the Dracos in Magia mode, just due to how much damage she can put out before they get another action, having lessened battery and brave return isn't the worst thing. As you can see in my run, thanks to the dual cast extending, her skill count was not a problem at all. Italian offers high battery, a bunch of debuffs, and of course turn deletion for this fight. I realized it at the wrong time, but if you don't try the summon chi strategy, it's a decent idea to let the Dracos have their turn so they can go into Physica state, and then from there you can delete their turns and delay them. Otherwise the party battery is just not going to be that effective. Not my smartest play, but recovering from it was not a big problem. With that, this Chaos fight should be covered. If you want to see my footage of this fight, I'll link it in the corner and in the description below. If you liked what you saw and want to see future fights, subscribe so they show up as they're made. If you have any suggestions or thoughts, drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.